Yay. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Canoeing Connoisseur Moon. You already know what you're going to get when you step in the room. You're now dealing with canoeing. Yay, I'm here. And while I'm here, I'm going to make the information direct and clear because a lot of y'all can't hear. Now, this to set the record straight for a lot of you silly motherfuckers. I got presentations and things like that I'm going to do anyway. But this is just, some quick bases and notes for people who want to get into research. Stay away from Google and stay away from Wikipedia unless you need those two platforms to just show the pictorial uses of the research that you had already did prior to coming on and opening your fat mouth, okay? Fat mouth, and as you know, back in the day, is a term for people that's just shit talking. They don't know nothing or have any idea or inclination of what the fuck they talking about, but they want to get on here and fat mouth, okay? And I got a bone to pick with a lot of people that do that. It's other Africans in the community, black people, but I use the term African because people searching and grabbing for so many identities, but they want to discard and take away the name African American. That name is denoted to let you understand you are African, displaced from Africa. Now you reside in America. So that's what the combination of the two names and the term was stemmed from, okay? And people were using it way before Jesse Jackson. Now, if you don't know research, then you won't know these things. A lot of Google niggas get on Google, get on Wikipedia, doing these picture shows, laughing, acting like silly ass kids doing work for the white man, your white oppressor, your white zaddy, as Kwame Brown can say, for this YouTube shit. You're a mockery of the community, not the conscious community, because I'm not in the conscious community. But a lot of people that's doing this shit now were a part of the conscious community. The conscious community didn't give them the validation that they thought they deserved with they weak ass shit that they was coming with. Cause Sonetta, if he don't see you as nobody strong, shout out to Sonetta, whatever he got going on with his platform. I don't know nothing about him personally. I'm strictly talking about Black News 102 and what he's tried to present over the years. Give Sonetta, his roses while he's here. He produced a black platform. And he bought on people that we ain't seen or we would never heard no goddamn where. He bought them people on and gave them a plateau or a platform in which to stand on. You see what I'm saying? So you have to give him recognition on that alone. Now, what he's done personally and what a lot of people is attacking him on with all this bringing in scammers and shit in the community, I mean, if he knew about that, that's something he gonna have to deal with personally. But a lot of you niggas that get on this motherfucker, talk that shit, and you didn't get the validation from Sonetta, and now you want to attack the community, talking about you can show and prove, and you don't have no research, and nor are you trying to find any. You just on this bitch talking. If you get on the internet, you can type in anything you want, and the internet will provide standpoints from that of which you want to argue. You can get on there and look up, is it good to eat your own feces? And you'll find some PhD or some motherfucker that's doing some type of testing to see if eating your own feces is plausible for human being life. So any standpoint you have, you can get on the internet and find somebody that's going to speak for your standpoint. That's number one. Wikipedia, Google has all been edited by Western academia to put forth an understanding that you stay in the terms of a religious context. Everything in the Western world, America and everything else, it's built on Western academia. So when you go outside of that and try to use even if you're using logic, when you go outside of Western academia, now you're challenging the system. And that's what's needed. Western academia don't set the standard. I don't give a fuck how many PhDs you have. If you don't have common sense, I mean, come on, I don't talk to people that don't have common sense. Do some research before you start opening your mouth about who's the designers and the architect of human civilization. If you don't know that Ethiopia and things like that were the cradles to civilization, what they're saying is Ethiopia can show you some of the first stems and beginning of civilized, people being civilized. You got that in Nubia, you got that in Ethiopia, you got that in Sudan. You got that. I mean, come on, Africa is the cradle of mankind as well. So if you don't know these type of things, and the oldest bone specimens and bone finds have been found right around the Nile Valley region. Now these people are deemed Africans. Africans are the only thing that come out of Africa. Now you have new people that's land holding and residing in the land of Africa, but they're not the original people. Africa breeds Africans. Europe breeds Europeans. Asia breeds Asians, okay? And I believe African people have been over all those lands I just named first, okay? But they're indigenous to Africa. So if you don't know that, that's some more research you need to do. That's number 2. So the oldest fossil finds by Dr. Leakey and a lot of other group of guys were found around Tanzania, okay? Kenya, Nairobi. All this is the Nile Valley region. The Nile Valley goes all the way down to Uganda, okay? Nairobi, Kenya, because it starts right there out of Lake Victoria. You see, that's the Victoria Nile, and you go all the way up, and it comes to the White Nile. Now, what I'm looking at is a book from 1966 called The Nile River. Okay, now you can go out and get this. I'm pretty sure it's not authored by an African, but it sets the record straight. This is the Nile Valley. Okay, now I can do this on StreamYard, but this is something quick I just want to do, and that's the beginning of the Nile down at the bottom. In deep, dark Africa, what they would call. The Mediterranean is at the top, where you see blue at. That's where Egypt and all that, it starts spilling into the Mediterranean. Now, for you silly motherfuckers who don't understand that Lucy was found around Kenya, she's 3.2 million years old, okay? Deemed African, found in Africa. It was no Europe at the time. It was no Arabia at the time. So, no European, no Arabs. If they were, then they're not here on record, not to date at that time, because no fossil specimens have been found to match those dating times, okay? That's number 1. And when you look at the book, when it start telling you the people who compiled this region at the time, they all look like this woman. African people, okay? So the Nile Valley is an African construct. It was constructed by African people. When you get to looking in this book, and like I say, I'm sure it's a European author, they're going to show you how people came up from the beginning of the Nile, which is the oldest fossil specimen finds in the world. They're going to start showing you the culture of these people who compiled the Nile. These people are African. These aren't Arabs. There's no Arabs in this book until you get to the back. This is African culture and African heritage. You see them cows and things like that? That's Heru. That's from the first civilization. Cow worship, or whatever you want to call it. Hathor is a cow. She's a woman with ears with the face of a cow that comes out of ancient Egyptian history. But if you don't know any of this, your silly ass will be tricked and fooled, okay? By Google, Wikipedia, and anybody who want to make the standpoint that all the civilizations that come upon along the Nile was a European creation. See? The Mediterranean is up here. You can't show me nothing on the other side of this river, which is called the Great Sea, really. But the Mediterranean, on the other side, you can't show pyramids coming down into Egypt. But you can show pyramids coming up to Egypt, okay? Which lets you know that the beginning and the fertilization of them getting that type of technology comes from here up. It don't go in the opposite, because you can't show nothing from the Mediterranean or in Europe down to show you the beginning of the pyramid stage. But if you come this way, you will see all through Sudan and everything else, you will see little small pyramids being built. Now, to answer a question, I heard a silly ass fat man who probably have diabetes and high blood pressure and he needs a diet. I won't say the brother name, but he got a news platform on YouTube, sitting on there cracking jokes in front of his computer when he needed a weight loss and a diet program, okay? Snickering, kicking. Why they never built nothing else in Africa? I'm from Lagos, Africa. Why they never built nothing else from Africa? They never built a two-story type of invention until the white man came. Now, you silly ass fool, you would understand that the Moors built Spain. The European never built anything. He can build it now because he has the resources and the infrastructure and the power tools that's needed to build infrastructure. He owns all that now because he got free labor out of us for so long. And then your fat ass, okay, I'm going to just say the name because I'm a real guy like that. AK Nation or Ak Nation. Yo, fat ass, you should be ashamed of yourself, brother. You're African. I don't know you personally, but I have to talk to you like that because you're disrespectful to the people that came before you, our ancestors. You need a diet and a weight loss program, brother. Stop talking shit you don't know. You don't do research. You show some silly ass pictures of mud huts and dong huts. That's the best our ancestors can do right now because they don't have infrastructure. They was robbed of them power machines and things of that nature. Show me in those regions of Africa where they have alabaster. Show me where they have granite. Show me where they have all these stones like they did down there in the region where they put civilization up in brick and stone. Show me where they building ship making down there. But see, you see all that in the civilized areas of Egypt and the Nile Valley. Now, when you go to different regions, you don't see that. That's because they don't have the resources. They don't have the money. They don't have the infrastructure, machines, the power tools to do so. So don't talk about you couldn't build in 2 stories until the European showed up. The European didn't build Spain. It was built by Moors in 711. Okay? Moors are African people who came out of Morocco. That's where the term Moor come from. But the Portuguese gave them that name because Moor means black, I guess. You know what I mean? By way of historics is what I'm talking, history. So you don't do no research. Then you got on there talking about 1619 to 1865, how they ended slavery and all that. You silly ass fat man. Look here, brother. I love you. But you need to get yourself together and get on a weight loss program, my brother. You're sitting there eating Snickers and corn chips and shit. Barely can breathe. You need an oxygen machine and you need to get yourself together, get your cholesterol checked. And silly ass Chief X need to give you some of them body and moringa powder that he sell. Since you want to be, y'all two don't seem to be on team and he using your silly videos talking about he crowned and checkmate another. That's not no historical documentation. You guys haven't picked up 1 book. You probably don't own any books. That's stupid shit. Okay? So Chief X, I got something coming for your silly ass. AK Nation, whoever you are, stay your fat ass up out of that stuff because you don't know anything about historicity or historics and about way things was brought about. Watch a documentary. Carl Richard Lips's, Henry Breasted, all these people, they were trying to whitewash Africa and Egypt. Egypt is the last place that was alone and now that was civilized. Africans did this shit. Africans brew Africans. And you being from the continent, don't give it no validation that you can disrespect the ancestors and what they can do. You a silly ass boy. That's all you are, a fat ass boy. And Chief X, you a silly ass man. Misunderstood. Got the ancestors on your shoulders. You're a walking contradiction. That's where I was, so I won't cover them up. Go get it covered up, bruh. You don't respect that type of civilization. You've been misguided. You're mad at Dr. Bean and all these people. So you need to get your silly ass self together. You and that silly ass man. Pick up a book. Do some historical research. This is from 1966. And this is just one tool that I have. I'm going to read you your rights, bruh, and put you under arrest by the African people. I represent Africa, the whole continent. The oldest specimen finds on the planet is in Africa. So if the European and the Arab is a bad motherfucker, show me in reverse. Show me the oldest finds in Europe. Show me the oldest finds in Arabia. Fucking Arabs ain't did nothing talking about they had slaves since the Stone Age. The Stone Age is the 1600s, you fat ass boy. You don't know what you're talking about. So stop talking about that and putting on a mockery of African people. African people are some of the greatest people on the planet, are the greatest people. They come from nothing and took nothing and came into something with it. Still show me something without money being a commodity. Show me the most creative people on the planet. Show me the most physically gifted people on the planet besides you and Chief X. Disregard yourself because your fat ass ain't did nothing but eat. Show me the most physical specimens. Show me the fastest runners on the planet. Okay? Show me the guys that can jump the highest on this planet. Show me the best boxers on this planet. Show me the best architects on this planet. Okay? So if you don't know what you're talking about, you can't talk. That's real quick. I just wanted to put that on here. And this is for anybody who want to disregard the brilliance of the people that come from the Nile Valley. Should be ashamed of your motherfucking self. You got Europeans all across the world and documentation all across the world to let you know that the Nile Valley region is African. The oldest specimen finds is of African origin. But you would disrespect all archaeology, anthropology, historical research, and anything else to make a point because your fat ass and your silly ass is scorned. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Canoom, Consul, Moon. You already know what you're going to get when you step in the room. You was now dealing with Canoom. I'm out. Fuck wrong with you silly ass boys.